Welcome to this channel. My name is Oracle. I'll be your tutor and I'll be your host. This is a trade recap of the trade I took last week on SAUS and other pair. If you are not subscribed to this channel, do well to subscribe to this channel. I drop trade breakdown every week on the trades I took and my expectation for the next week. I also drop signals on my Telegram channel. You can join my Telegram channel if you want to get updates about the financial market or you're interested in making money. So let's dive in to the recap. Yeah, so the week was so impulsive. Market was actually creating higher highs and higher lows, especially on gold. I trade more of gold than I trade currency. So I'll be doing more of recap on gold and actually the pairs I took and I called out for my guys. Then on Monday, market moved so wide. Actually, I was expecting a bias from this zone because this is an indecision range, and that was what caused market to move so high like this. Or what caused market to move so high like this. Monday, Monday, I was looking for buys from this zone. I called it out in my Telegram channel, but market came all the way down, but did not activate me. So I did not actually take any trade from that zone. Market came down, and the reason why I took this trade was because there was a range. I've been explaining range on this my Telegram channel. I just hope you guys grab what I'm explaining. Range is a zone where there was a consolidation. There was a consolidation before an impulsive breakout. So any zone where there's a consolidation before an impulsive breakout, as far as the structure aligns with that range, we are going to take the range. So that was the reason why I called out this buy in my Telegram channel. And there was actually another buy I called out on silver. There was actually another buy I called out on silver, this buy, which is this buy. And what made me not to take that trade is because from the 15 minutes time frame, something happened. If you go back to the 15 minutes time frame, you see that there was actually a pattern that was formed in the 15 minutes time frame. This pattern made me to be skeptical about this trade. But just see what happened. It came down here and reacted so high. But that is not actually a problem for me. The most important thing is that once I see my strategy, I will take it regardless of what happened. Regardless of what happened. So I also called out another trade on BTC USD. Actually, I did not call it out on my Telegram channel because I was not sure of the trade. So I just sent it out to a friend of mine, told him that I should buy BTC USD. And this was the trade. This was the trade. It gave me about 1:3 risk to reward ratio. And let me explain the reason why I bought this trade. There's a particular concept I use in trading. It's called SLE. First of all, I have to see a sweep below. Market has to sweep liquidity below, and market has to sweep liquidity above. Then I want to see a liquidity zone created around here. Once there's a liquidity zone, then I'll mark out my entry. Why I actually was confident in this trade that I called out for my guy was that there was actually same formation from the 4 hour time frame. Market formed the same way on the 4 hour time frame. It took out liquidity below and took out liquidity above and also created the liquidity. So immediately I saw this, I knew that it was going to play out. So I called it out for my guy. Imagine if he held this trade till now, it's still moving in profit. That is what actually happens when you understand your concept. So that was this third trade I called out last week on on crypto. Then the fourth one I called out was actually on gold, which is this one. It has not actually react. It has not come to this zone for now. So just watch to the end of the video to find out if I'm still going to be taking buys from there or I'm not going to be taking buys. Then the fifth one also is silver. Silver, I called out this buys before NFP, and I was expecting NFP to trigger this buys, but NFP did not trigger it regardless. So now, what is my expectation for next week in the market? What is my expectation? I will also take GBP USD and other pairs because I know some people watching me in this channel are going to be trading GBP USD and other currency pairs. So regardless of that I trade only gold and silver, I'm going to take GBP USD so that others that trade GBP USD can find entry. So first of all, let's start with silver. If you check the 4-hour structure on silver, you will see that the structure is still bullish. And we already have this liquidity zone here. This is a liquidity zone. Then overall structure, I get my overall structure from daily time frame. Overall structure is bullish, right? Overall structure is bullish. We have created a higher high, a higher low, and another higher high. Overall structure of this market is bullish. So then my 4-hour structure also is also bullish. So this is a liquidity zone. This place I've marked out now is a liquidity zone. So what would my expectation be for next week? Market is going to be opening in some hour time. So my expectation is I'm still active with this buy. This my buy entry was from 30 minutes time frame. I'm still active with this buy. But first of all, there is this demand zone that is obstructing my buy. This is a demand zone, and this is another demand zone. These are the two demand zones obstructing my buy. That is a demand zone. This one upward is a demand zone term supply. So is either market come up and continue buying or market breaks this demand zone, reacts on it, come to my entry and buy. So this is my expectation on silver next this week on silver. So let's go back to gold and find out what is happening to gold. First of all, you have to know that silver and gold correlate. So if silver is buying, gold is meant to buy, and if silver is selling, gold is meant to sell. So from the look of this chart now, we can analyze gold. So if I go to gold, I can see that there's this zone here on gold. This zone is an entry. I call it SLE. This zone is an entry. So what is my expectation next week? Either market keep on buying or market come down to this zone and buy. But if market opens with a gap, then we should be reacting, we should be having a bias from this zone. But I don't think market is going to open with a gap because there is no major fundamentals that happen during the weekend that will cause market to open with a crazy gap. So I don't think this zone is going to hold for now. I don't think this zone is going to hold for now. So this is my expectation. Hold. So let's go over to GBP USD. I don't actually trade GBP USD that much, but for the sake of people that trade it, let me just analyze it. My strategy work on all pair, whether currency or imagine this setup. I was looking at this setup and it played out. It played out for real. For real, it played out. See, this is actually, I just marked this thing out and it played out. So what is my expectation for GBP USD? First of all, before I analyze any pair, I check what is happening on the daily time frame because daily time frame gives us the picture of the market. I check what is happening on the daily time frame. I go over the daily time frame. I see that overall from the daily time frame, market is actually bullish. So that's awesome. Market is bullish from the daily time frame. So I go back to the 4 hour time frame. From 4 hour time frame, market is also bullish. So I can see that there's a liquidity below. There's a liquidity here. Let me mark it out. The liquidity here. Um, there is a liquidity here. Also, market has swept liquidity from all these zones. So I'll go over to my 1 hour time frame to look for entry. From my 1 hour time frame, I can see that you can take entry from here, or if you want to minimize it, you can come down below to look for entry. Or I'll be taking entry from above for people that are going to be trading currency. So this will be my entry level, and this will be my SL level. Then my target will be just here. Target, I target places that are significant. So I have this first buy that is actually still running, which is this one. It's actually still running. So it's either market come here or it comes down below. That's almost 1 is to 5.4, 1 is to 5.74. So let's go to GBP I don't actually take GBP I don't trade GBP that often. I just analyze the chart GBP I had this sales on GBP but I told the person I gave sales to close at break even because market change structure on GBP from that zone. So what's my expectation on GBP Looking at GBP market is bullish, structure is bullish on GBP for now. So I'll just go back to my 1 hour time frame. I'll go back to my 1 hour time frame to look for my entries. Judging from what I'm seeing in GBP there's no actual entry. There's no actual entry. Market is just moving so impulsively. But in case market comes to this area, it should be a good buy zone. If the market comes to this area, it should be a good buy zone because that is a range zone in the market. Market comes here, it should be a good buy zone. But I don't think market will come there. Only what can make market come here is if it opens with a massive drop. That's where you can get an entry from there and push the price higher. So in case if you like this content, please like, subscribe, and share that others so that the algorithm can push the content to other people and other people can get to see my market insight. I drop market insight every Sunday evening before the market opens. So you can see what will happen in the market in advance. Remember, trading is risky, trading is a risk, so you shouldn't use all your money in trading and you shouldn't borrow money to trade. Always be very, very speculative when you're trading, be very, very calculative, risk management, and the rest. I drop videos on risk management and I also drop my analysis on Telegram channel. So you can go to my Telegram, subscribe to my Telegram. See you guys next time. Bye bye.